What's up, creative community? How you guys doing? Welcome back for Coach MC Studio. This is the place where we'll help you actors, performers, and entertainers to really shape unique behavior deliveries, to get recognized in the audition room, and to step up our artistic game, to insert something new in our toolbox so we get recognized and we have more impact whenever we get called to action. And in today's video, we're gonna continuing our acting alphabet series with the letter D, and it's gonna be D like director. To all who are new to the channel or to this program, every week of the year I'm going to analyze a new letter of the alphabet. I'm going to extract the most potent, juicy, critical stuff that is contained in that letter that we can implement in our own workflow, whether we are artists, performers, or actors. So without any further ado, let's jump right into it and let's see what's cooking. What a miserable, poor creature the director is. And I'm saying this out of respect and out of my own experience because, yes, I'm an actor for over 35 years now, but over the last 10 years, being a coach means being a director. Because you're directing self-tapes, you're directing the audition, you are assisting many actors on set as well, you're directing them through the motion picture, you're directing yourself as an actor as well. So being a director has become a part of my job description as well. And now I understand the pressure because the director has to answer to all the departments, has to direct all the actors. He gets the pressure by the production company, he gets the pressure by all of the fans, he gets the pressure by the audience, he gets the pressure by the media department. Everybody wants a piece of the movie, everybody wants a piece of the limelight, everybody wants a piece of the glory, right? And the director who's directing all this, he stands in the middle of all these fronts. He is the nucleus of all these collisions. He has to answer to all these various job descriptions, and he has to make sure that the movie's been shot on time, that it respects the budget, that it's not overdue, and all these other things, and it matches all the requirements of the script. And then of course at the end of this, the director is hired because he has a vision. This is what a director is somebody who's directing the vision because he fleshes out the words of the author, he transforms the words of the author of the screenplay, right, into something that is tangible, into a motion picture. It moves, it's real, right? He creates that other dimension, that other reality. And so therefore being a director is a very tough job description. So why am I shooting this video? Because we need more communication on set, especially right now with the backdrop of the Hollywood strike and everything that is happening. Communication helps so much to de-escalate conflicts, to make a motion picture better, to solve the problem in time, to not let the crew feel the heaviness of a certain discussion, and to keep everything kind of in a flow state instead of making this staccato type of stop motion picture, right, where you glue one scene to the other because you had so many discussions from one scene to the other. A healthy discussion is always fruitful. It goes always into the direction of creating something new, and something new blossoms up through every healthy discussion. But sometimes we need to understand, as an actor, we have a certain restricted vision. We see just a minuscule part of what is happening around us. We can't perceive everything, right? And that is exactly what happens to the actor. Even if it's like a lead or protagonist of the movie, he is just one part. He is not playing all the parts. The director has to be there all the time. He has to answer all the time. So he makes crazy hours all the time. And he has an overall view that is way more complex and way bigger than the one that an actor can have. Legitimately so by the description of the role. And so actors come in with this fresh energy. They like to kind of, fulfill their vision, kind of play grand, be great, have this epic speech, and they have ideas how to, go through set and what they do with props and everything else. And then they clash against the opinion or the vision of the director, who has like a different approach to the scene because he sees all the scenes as a context and not only the scene of the actor. And therefore sometimes the clash can be also pretty violent, right? Because maybe there are like really two colliding belief systems, right? The ones who like to see the scene as a black scene and the other one who like to see it as a completely white scene, right? So where do we get together? I feel like here are my 3 biggest tips on how to communicate with the director, what to do on set if you're not, if you're conflicting with the vision of the director, and not giving up and not becoming infuriated, and also not losing your steam, your traction, and of course your vision. So first of all, listen closely to each other. Make sure that you really understand where the director is coming from, and ask questions. Ask profound questions. People are not asking questions. They just want to show that they are great workers and can implement it right away, that they are fast and all that. I understand, because you need to show to the production company, to the relevant players that are standing behind the director, who are paying for the motion picture, distributing it, and so on and so forth. The actor needs to show like, I'm fast, I can transform this quickly, I'm a great team player. So no matter what, right, I can produce it. But it's not about just being fast. It's also about by showing the quality, right, and improving the quality. if that's possible. It's always, stepping up the game and not just executing the game and not just playing the game, just winning the game. And so therefore, really listen attentively to what the director has to say. And if you don't understand it, don't say, oh, okay, yeah, I can do it, and just try a couple of times. And then it's obvious that you haven't understood it and you have to rediscuss it, which of course costs money and it's energy draining, so on and so forth. When you listen closely, and you have a question, something that pops up in your mind, something your instinct is telling you, something your guts is like confused about, whatever it is, ask questions. I see this so many times that people don't ask questions. They just want to look great and look fast, but they can be way quicker and more effective if they're just taking their time before they're actually going back on set by asking the right questions, if they haven't quite understood what the scene is about or what the director is trying to tell you. Ask profound questions. That will not only increase your understanding on the actor's behalf, your understanding of the scene and the vision of the director, and therefore you already envision what you have to do and what to say, but it also increases your trustworthiness in the eye of the director. Because if you're asking great questions, profound questions, deep questions about what the director has to say, the director gets involved in a conversation with you. And now it's a healthy debate. Now it's a beautiful discussion, right? And so he feels like important as well. The director feels appreciated and acknowledged as well. Not that he needs to, but of course it just enforces his way, like, okay, this is great. I know, but somebody is collaborating with me. I'm not just directing and telling somebody to execute, but there is like a vivid conversation. And maybe through the conversation, new aspects can be found about the scene, about the directions that the director wants you to implement. And so everybody feels more important. You understood way deeper and on a more granular level what you need to do, and you can be way more effective on set. So ask profound questions. Second of all, try to have a conversation and not superimposing your will. Try to have an exchange of opinions in a human way. Like, I see many actors being disrespectful without even noticing that. Some of the actors are just caught up with their world, in their universe, they're ready to roll out, and then the director's disturbing them, right? And then the makeup department is correcting them, and then the props department is telling them that you have to use the props in a different way. Everybody's, giving them instructions and directions. Sometimes the actor feels like in a cage. Sometimes it feels like, okay, I'm cornered here, right? I have to answer to all of them. If I answer to all of them, I'm not answering to myself. And sometimes the actor feels like he's losing the art and is just meeting the requirements, which is legitimate. It's a valid point to say, hey, wait a second, I need to perform here. I need to create my art. I need to perform just means, to form something out of the immaterial and make it tangible, make it visual. And that's a demanding process. Not everybody understands how demanding, energy draining, and valuable and personal it is to us actors, right? And so sometimes people overstep these boundaries. They don't even realize it. And we overstep our boundaries by responding in a harsh way, by not realizing, because to us, it's legitimate to defend our art and say, hey, wait a second. And then our communication is harsh and rude and raw and unpleasant and unfriendly and unelegant. And so the overall atmosphere gets colder and colder and colder on set whenever you appear, because I feel like, oh, this is, this actor or this actress, like she reacts in a very, stingy way if somebody kind of tells her to do it differently, right? And she's always like very allergic to any directions, and he's always very controversial when discussing his scenes and all that. So we all have to come to a consensus. We all have to come back to what is our mission here. It's the motion picture. It's creating art for the audience, to make them laugh, to give them joy. And joy is always more powerful than fear. So embrace the process with more joy and with more love, and be able to communicate in a less harsh way, even though you feel sometimes cornered, which is legitimate as an actor. Try to make your feelings understandable to everyone without exaggerating, without being that over emotional guy or lady all the time, right? Because that again is like heavy and draining as well. And the third and most important part is you need to understand that you both have a vision. You could say that you are the content as an actor, you are the painter, the one who's creating the content, and the director is creating the context, the frame for your art. And so you can't do both. You have to decide what you like to do. And sometimes you have to take a step back and to let yourself go. And this is a very important thing that I really want to say at the end of this video. Let yourself go. Don't feel so entitled, and let yourself be directed a little bit. bit. It's okay to be directed a little bit and not to feel like to have all the answers ready, because that can lead you into the false assumption that you always need to have all the answers, which we don't in real life. So why should we as the acting life as well? If we are the character, there's nothing more beautiful than a character that doesn't have all the answers, that is looking for a solution, right? Because that's what we need to do in the scene, to look out for the solution, to kind of come up with a solution to the conflict. If we have all the answers ready, we're playing God, and that is boring, it's mediocre. So sometimes we need to be directed in a certain direction. I've discovered so many beautiful things along that path, on not knowing where I was going, on letting myself go. And I feel like this is the biggest problems that actors sometimes have, the fear of letting really go and being directed and going into a direction that is completely opposite. Being scared of not knowing the territory is something great, because it kind of triggers more concentration, it triggers more adrenaline, you're way more attentive, and it's not just playing out what you thought beforehand and preconceived. No, it's being in the moment and being very attentive. This is where the mastery is being forged, where we have to implement, where we have to let go, where we have to go into a different direction and to face the unknown, the territory that is dark to us. And where the greatest products are being made is where sometimes the collision of forces happen beforehand. So don't be afraid of that collision. If you do it in an educated and healthy way, it just can turn out to be something magnificent for the overall product. Don't be afraid. Let go. Have a great conversation. Tell about your feelings. Tell about your vision. But be also ready to implement everything that you get. Be educated. Have dignity. Put your hands on the back when you're listening to the director, right? Just stand there and just listen to him. Be open. Give him everything that you got. Blossom up in this role. Implement your vision, but implement his vision and all the other visions as well. And always think about the audience first. What do they want to see? How is it that I can entertain them even more? And therefore, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the letter D out of the acting alphabet. Next week, it's gonna be the letter E. So I'm ready for your comments, for your suggestions, what you like to see with the letter E. And if you have any other suggestions for any other videos that you like to see, or any topics that you like to see covered, make sure to kind of hit me up. And if you're interested in a free trial lesson to find out if we're a great match to work together, me as a coach, you as an actor, as a performer, as an artist, to improve your product, to create something new, or whether it's a self-tape, a show reel, something for your portfolio, be my guest. Come over to my website. It's thecoachmc.studio. Send me a message. Let's set up a free trial lesson if there's any time. And let's work together. Let's see if we're a great match, and then we can start the adventure. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Leave a like so you support the channel and you show the algorithm what you value and cherish the most, and see you with the next video, because now you're ready to perform. Thank you.